Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman band.
Greetings, fellow Fright fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. It's a lazy Saturday for me, so hope everyone's having a nice weekend. Just crazy week, lots of stuff going on, and wanted to do something today, but because of the weather and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to take it easy today. I got some stuff I'm working on, my book I'm working on, some channel segments I'm working on, actual work I'm working on because my job is really demanding right now. So just going to take it easy. Also doing some comic book reading. Went to my favorite comic book store yesterday on Friday, which was Friday the 1st of March. So we're in March, and got my comic book saver and picked up the 4th issue of Tom Holland's Fright Night, put out by American Mythology Productions. Now, I have done a video on each one of these issues. This has been a slow roll with these. Since these are being put out by an independent company, they're not rolling out like a normal comic book series. So this 4th issue, and again, the last time I was at Flying Colors Comics was right at the end of December of last year. So it's been 2 months that I've been there. So I don't know if this came out in January or February, but the last issue that I reviewed, I had in August of last year. So issue 3 I had in August. That's when I did my review. Before that, I did a review of issue 2, which came out around Christmas time of 2022. I got it in December of that year as well. And then the first issue I got in January of 2022. So that's how slowly these have been coming out. And it's really tough. So I have to, I remember the story, but, it's kind of like going back and playing catch up with each new issue. And I've already talked about, my disappointment with this series. And my biggest issue has been the writing by James Kahoric and the other artist that shares the artwork in the book, being Jason Craig. Now, Neil Vokes did the original Fright Night comic. He started with issue number 8, and I believe he drew that book from issue 8. He did 8 issues of the book. I believe he did issue 8 through 16, if I'm remembering correctly. The last one dealing with a witch coven that brings Jerry Dandridge back in that book series. But his art is fantastic, and I absolutely love everything he contributes to the series. But the way the book was structured is that you'd have Jason Craig, and then Neil Vokes, and then back to Jason Craig. So it was like Neil Vokes would do like maybe 2 or 3 pages at the most, and then everything else was Jason Craig's artwork. And I hated his artwork, and nothing against him. It's just my own preference. I like Neil Vokes' art. I feel like Neil Vokes' art is Fright Night. It speaks Fright Night to me. It's what I grew up reading. Again, that first series came out when I was 14, so it has a very dear place in my heart. That first Fright Night series is my favorite comic book series of all time. I absolutely love it. I have every issue still. I had issue number 8 signed by Evil Ed himself, Mr. Stephen Jeffries. So when I saw that issue 4 was in my saver, I was kind of excited and scared at the same time because I was so disappointed with issue number 3. And my God, was this a better issue. This is probably my favorite issue of this entire series. I read it last night, and I was going, holy shit, this is actually good. And it explains things. It explains why Amy is the way she is, why she got into sports, why she separated from Charlie. It also gives a lot more exposition to what this coven is trying to do, how they're more dangerous than Jerry Dandridge was, why they're trying to bring Jerry Dandridge back. And then also Evil Ed has a bigger part in this. And it was really interesting what you find out in this book, because he does sort of show up at Peter Vincent's house uninvited, because Peter Vincent had already invited him in the movie when he lets him in. So that's how he was able to get into the house. So he confronts Amy, Peter, Charlie, and Danny, who's Peter's assistant. So all of them are finally together, and there's some great interactions between Evil and Amy and Charlie and Peter, and it's just really, really great. And the other thing that makes this book just absolutely fantastic is the fact that Neil Vokes did all of the artwork. So all of the artwork for the book was done by Neil Vokes. Jason Craig didn't do any of it. I don't know why, if that was always the plan. Maybe Neil Vokes had another project that he was working on or something, but he does all the artwork, and it makes all the difference. It's just, again, if you have one artist that you're not crazy about and they make up the bulk of the artwork for the book that you're reading, for me personally, that takes me out of it. And every time it would transition from Neil Vokes' artwork to Jason Craig's artwork, I just was taken out of the book, and it disappointed me. This did not disappoint me. I flew through this book. I cannot wait for the next issue. The next issue is the final issue. I don't know when it's coming out. If I do find out, I'm going to look it up. I'll put it right here when they think it's going to drop. I'm hoping it's dropping soon. It looks to be promising that Jerry Dandridge will be coming back. That is the image they show at the end of this book, that Jerry Dandridge will be coming back. Very excited to see what they do. Very excited to see if they're going to make another Fright Night comic book series again. I think it was like, again, I think the slow release of the books, the fact that, you know, a lot of the plot points that were set up in the first 3 books that didn't make a lot of sense now make sense with this iteration, because you're able to just sort of say, okay, well, that's why that was happening, or that's why this person is acting this way. Out of the 4 issues so far, this is my absolute favorite. Again, the artwork is phenomenal. It really brought me back to being a kid reading Fright Night issue number 8, The Return of Evil Ed, back in 1989, and I got a little emotional because it's been so long, and the fact that I knew when I bought that book, if I ever met Stephen Jeffries, I was going to have him sign it. I was able to fulfill that bucket list item in August of 2021, and to read this and see a book fully drawn by Neil Vokes, one of my favorite comic book artists of all time, it just put me over the moon, and I can't say enough how grateful I am for an artist like him and for the fact that I have this book. I know there's multiple covers. I might try to seek out some of the multiple covers for each of the issues. I do have the, just to showcase the books here, I do have number 3, issue number 2, and then issue number 1, the one that I have. I know there's a cooler cover with Evil, Amy, and Charlie on it as well that Neil Vokes did. And then I have the free Comic Book Day one that Neil Vokes did the artwork for. So these are the ones I have. Like I said, issue 4 just makes the entire thing better. It makes it a better series. But yeah, I think with having this book come out, it makes these earlier issues make more sense. So yes, I can't recommend it enough. If you can find these books, I believe they're on eBay. You can find them on eBay. I'll put a link to American Mythology Productions. I have reached out to them before asking them about the book, and I never heard back from them. So I just, I know it's a smaller company, but I'll put a link down below to their website. Fright Night is my second favorite vampire movie of all time. I love that film. I always have. I even love Fright Night 2. Fright Night 2 and Fright Night both. I love both of them. And I even like the remake with Anton Yelchin, the late Anton Yelchin, and Colin Farrell. I thought that was a fun movie. Not in any league with the first 2 films, but still a fun remake all on its own. But yeah, very happy with this book. Can't wait to see what issue 5, the final issue, is going to be like. And I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.